In Puerto Rico, a military base that had been silent for nearly 2 decades is once again roaring back to life. Roosevelt Roads in Ceiba, once abandoned and left to decay, now echoes with the thunder of engines and the movement of war machines. The United States is deploying stealth F-35 fighter jets, Osprey V-22 aircraft, massive CH-53 helicopters, Blackhawks, and heavy C-17 transports filled with troops and equipment. The scene raises an alarming question: is this just a temporary exercise, or is it the opening act of something far larger, tied to Washington's escalating tensions with Venezuela? For those who remember, Roosevelt Roads was once one of America's most important strongholds in the Caribbean. Built during the Cold War, it served for decades as a vital hub for power projection. But in 2004, the base was closed after waves of protests and a shift in military priorities. For years, its runways cracked, its hangars rusted, its future uncertain. That silence has now been shattered. In recent days, locals have witnessed the unmistakable arrival of the F-35 Lightning II, the most advanced stealth fighter in the U.S. arsenal, designed to evade enemy radar and dominate modern airspace. Alongside them, the Osprey V-22 tiltrotors touch down, machines that merge the vertical lift of a helicopter with the speed of an airplane, perfect for rapid island-hopping deployment. Heavy CH-53 helicopters and UH-60 Blackhawks are also on the ground, critical for transporting troops, supplies, and battlefield equipment. And then there are the massive C-17 Globemaster transport planes, unloading vehicles and soldiers. This is no token presence. This is a significant buildup of combat power. Which forces us to ask, why revive a decaying base now? Why pour in this level of firepower, unless Washington is preparing for something more? What is unfolding in the skies above Puerto Rico is mirrored at sea. In recent weeks, the Caribbean has witnessed a surge of U.S. Navy activity. The vessels deployed reveal Washington's intentions. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the backbone of the U.S. Navy, are capable of firing Tomahawk missiles at targets more than 1,500 kilometers away. Armed with the powerful Aegis combat system, they can simultaneously track dozens of aircraft and missiles, providing a shield for the entire fleet. Alongside them, Ticonderoga-class cruisers continue to serve as floating arsenals, packed with vertical launch systems that can unleash a storm of missiles in both offense and defense. Perhaps most telling is the presence of Wasp-class amphibious assault ships. These are not just warships, they are floating fortresses. Each one carries hundreds of Marines, tanks, helicopters, and even F-35B short takeoff jets. With them, the U.S. can project power directly onto any shoreline in the region. Also present are littoral combat ships, fast, flexible vessels ideal for operations in the shallow Caribbean waters. And wherever the Navy deploys, its lifeline follows, supply ships filled with fuel, ammunition, and food. Their presence confirms one thing: this is not a short-term deployment. The U.S. is preparing to stay. To understand why this is happening now, we must look south, to Venezuela. Tensions between Washington and Caracas have been steadily climbing. Venezuela has tightened its military ties with Russia, China, and Iran, receiving advanced weapons and training. Its armed forces now fly Russian-made Sukhoi fighter jets and conduct regular military exercises. For Washington, the issue goes far beyond Venezuela itself. It is about influence, alliances, and control of the Western Hemisphere. By reactivating Roosevelt Roads and concentrating naval forces in the Caribbean, the United States is sending a very direct message: it is ready to act. And the buildup may not stop here. In recent days, naval tracking and unconfirmed reports suggest that Washington could be moving even more powerful assets into the region, possibly a full carrier strike group. If confirmed, that would mean not just destroyers and amphibious ships, but also a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier carrying dozens of F/A-18 Super Hornets, electronic warfare planes, cruisers, destroyers, submarines, and logistical support ships. The arrival of such a strike group would completely alter the balance of power in the Caribbean. It would signal that Washington is preparing for sustained, large-scale operations, not just symbolic patrols. The reactivation of Roosevelt Roads is more than symbolic. From this base, the United States can control vital sea lanes in the Eastern Caribbean and deploy forces rapidly towards South America. Most importantly, it places stealth fighters, Marines, and amphibious forces just a short flight away from Venezuelan territory. With F-35s in Puerto Rico, destroyers and cruisers at sea, and Marines aboard assault ships, Washington now commands layered power, air dominance, sea control, and amphibious capability. This posture is not defensive. It is a display of raw offensive power projection. A posture that says clearly, we are ready and we are watching. But with buildups of this scale come extreme risks. Whenever rival militaries deploy so close together, the chance of miscalculation rises dramatically. One radar lock on a fighter jet, one patrol boat venturing too close, one missile test misinterpreted, any of these incidents could trigger a dangerous chain reaction. History reminds us how fast crises can escalate in these waters. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the world came within inches of nuclear war. And today, decades later, the Caribbean is once again filling with warships, jets, and uncertainty. Which forces us to ask, are we witnessing the Caribbean's transformation into the next flashpoint of global confrontation? Roosevelt Roads lives again. Fighter jets scream across its skies. Destroyers and carriers prowl its waters. Just a few hundred miles to the south, Venezuela watches and prepares. The calm Caribbean is gone. It has become a chessboard, and with every new move, the stakes rise higher. What happens next may very well decide the balance of power in the entire hemisphere. Thank you for staying with us through this deep dive into the unfolding situation. If you want to stay updated on what happens next in the Caribbean and beyond, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a report. Your support means everything, and together, we will continue to track every move on this global chessboard.